And this was a huge part of my recovery and actually my return back to the team because fortunately I was able to recognize, which was a difficult pill to swallow, me growing up as an athlete, a college athlete, jiu-jitsu, MMA. My physicality was what I brought to the team. And that was who I was. I was a physical dominant specimen. And that's what my team asked of me. And that's what I enjoyed doing. So everybody won. In the hospital, now leg gone, I was able to digest the reality that no matter how much time I spent in the weight room, on the track, I would never be as physically dominant as I was with two legs, which again was hard to accept. But once I did, it was like, okay, let's take that as reality. What can I do to make up the difference with what I'm going to lose physically in order to maintain myself as an overall asset? So if I'm going to lose X in the physical realm, how can I make up that same difference, if not excel past it with otherwise? And I began looking at a lot of these softer skills of our business. And I committed myself to it. And as much as I disliked doing these things and studying these things and going through these types of schools and courses, I just believed that it would increase my overall value so I could be that asset that I had to be if and when I got back to the team. And just to kind of go full circle, once I did make it back and I was back in Afghanistan, back in combat on the team, I was able to employ a lot of those different skill sets, which really just validated my faith that I had, a year or two prior. But I was operating, and I'll just hammer on that one word. I was operating on blind faith for a good portion of the time. And the definition of that, or a definition, being a firm belief in something for which there is no proof. Like, I didn't know that anything that I was doing or my strategy would work, but I just believed in my heart and my soul that it was possible. It made sense on paper, and then through pure discipline and execution is what enabled me to do it, which then again proved to be accurate.
So would you treat failure as a sort of more as a learning experience? Like you were saying that you were trying to find your new role in and readjust to, your new mission parameter, so to speak. So you were using failure as a kind of way of like, we'll see if that works. Okay, I now set my goals to be this way. How do we, because you say mission first as a good way to sort of take it forward. How do you start explaining to somebody who's completely lost but wants to do target X, how can they start using these kind of beliefs, this amazing way mindset you have, to start improving their life? Do you think?
Well, for one, you mentioned failure. Yeah, I do believe under most circumstances, failure is our greatest learning tool. It is within the failure that the wisdom is located. And when we train and practice with that understanding and acceptance, that is the time to make the mistakes. That is the time to get it wrong. That is the time to fail in order to learn, to improve, so that when it's game time, and for us, when we're actually in the gunfight, we've made enough mistakes prior and we've failed and we've messed it up enough times prior that we do pretty good when we need to do it.
Hmm.
What I think prohibits many of us from that sort of mentality is our pride. And it's our ego.